I want to move us into kind of that step 7, which is talking about really monitoring and adjusting and optimizing once we have those tools in place. And I think, it's great we get something out the door, but we certainly can't forget to look back and see if there's still places for optimization. So I'd love to hear from the panel. Maybe once a firm has implemented that new piece of technology, what strategies have you found that are most effective for really that continuous monitoring and improvement? I heard taking recordings and watching them back later, see if it can be improved. I'd love to hear from the panel any other suggestions that you have for our audience.
One of my big things is, especially when we're building out software, is making sure we're capturing all the activities, all the categories, all the billable time for casework and then non-billable time, right? Just admin work. And I find across the board when we do that and we start running intentional reports to really see what's working, what's not, and really having that handle. We work a lot of times with estate planning firms, and one of the biggest things we'll do is document the process before legal technology. How long did it take the Tootsie Pop owl from the past? How many licks did it take to get the center of the Tootsie Pop? We'll do that for billing too, admin time, not billable time, all those different pieces, actual casework time, R&D, case research. And then what we'll do is after the full 90 days of application of software, showing the team, well, look, you felt overwhelmed, but now this 12-hour process is 4 hours. And that's really where we find that happens. And then also, if we don't see that over 50% ROI with improvement of software, then we dive in and ask that question, did the software do what we wanted it to do? Do we need add-ons? What's the next step? What are the bottlenecks again, and going down that path?
In my opinion, it's a team with the power and authority to impart change on the firm. And whether it's a managing partner who the other partners have empowered with that, say, okay, we're along for your ride. We trust you. Build a team, scope the problems, scope the solutions, get them implemented, get them supported, get the firm changing. That's how that happens. You can't do it from the bottom up, because if you don't have the authority to change, you can't make change. So it really does have to have with that authority to impart change.
That weekly meeting, where people will say, this is what's holding you up. What would be easier for you? And once you start training your brain to find systems and processes, don't just look at it in your office. Look at it at a restaurant like Chick-fil-A or someplace that you go. It's like marketing and automation. Like I see it all the time. Drives my wife nuts.
Every time I go to a restaurant and I'm not handed a survey after my meal, I'm like, why are you in the service industry if you are not collecting my feedback?
And look outside of your, not just area of law, but look outside of law itself. What are other businesses, specifically service businesses, doing? They're like, oh, wow, that's really cool. Exactly. How can I make that happen in my practice? And have your employees looking at that too, because that, again, will differentiate you from your competitors. And once you get in that mindset, you'll find it. I mean, we do this, and I guarantee you, each one of us, the panelists, every day we do something like, yeah, I wish we could do that a little bit differently, but you can't dwell on it, but you kind of document it. So when you get to it, you can get to it. But once you train yourself, your employees they'll figure it out. If they're the right employees, they'll figure it out. They'll say, okay, we can make this change. And again, incentivize them to do that. However you incentivize your employees, be it bonuses, time off, or recognition, whatever they want. And, Audrey, I know you know that they're different. I guess love languages isn't the right thing for business, but they have their different languages. So yeah, it's once you get the ball rolling, I think it will start happening for itself. And then you get into that flow of you're trying to find, it's almost like a game. Like, okay, how many steps can I reduce this to? I can name that song in one note, kind of thing.